Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to put aside the regular agenda because I need to vent. You see, I'm the type of person that goes to a ton of live events. Actually, fun fact, my first concert was actually in utero. Now, I'm not talking about the Nirvana album. My mother was pregnant with me when she went to Rod Stewart in 1984. Now, I'm gonna draw attention here to the graveyard of concert tickets. Mike, why don't you come in closer so you can get a feel for it? All of these represent an experience. Now, admittedly, I remember some of them better than others, but nonetheless, they're all an important part of my history. As a young person, going to a concert was a way for me to get closer to friends, to meet new people, maybe blow off some steam in a mosh pit or something. As I got older, I started focusing on different elements of those shows. I started taking a look at what the crew was doing, how the gear was set up, how the mix sounded that night. That led to me taking jobs as a roadie, as a driver for friends' bands. Ultimately, I got a gig as a tour manager where I traveled all over Quebec and France. Long story short here, live music runs deep for me. And I stand here in front of you, having not gone to a concert for almost a year. I haven't had a drought like this since I was 16 years old. Now, I know, a global pandemic requires certain sacrifices. And I'm also aware that there are people out there that have sacrificed a hell of a lot more than a year's worth of concerts. But what can I say? I'm dramatic. And this is all in hopes that it'll make me feel better about what's going on. Now, at this point, my mind goes to the future. I'm thinking, how will concerts come back? What are artists going to do with the audiences they've built online for live stream events? But I think that's a topic and a video for another time. You might want to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any future action. Today, I want to focus on the past. It feels good reminiscing about some of my favorite shows. You see, I'm a radio host on Mountain City Rock, and I did a segment where I wrote a story. It's kind of a monologue, and I read that on air. Now, I'd like to recite that story for you guys here today. Follow me. Mike, I'm going to hit the lights. Okay, all right. Let's get set up here. Mike, ready?
No. Yeah, we're ready.
Okay, all right. If you will, follow me back in time to some of the most important concerts I've ever been to. Try and picture this. It's winter in Montreal. It's a cold night, it's snowing, but despite the stay-in weather, there's a show in town. A show that you know from experience will not disappoint. So you pile a couple friends into the car and you head to the venue. Once arrived, you park the damn thing into the smallest snowbank and decide to leave your jacket in the car. You know the drill here. Walking to the venue is going to be hard in shorts and a t-shirt, but there's no other way. The heat at a Death From Above show is just way too intense to carry a jacket, and there's no way you're going to spend any time waiting in line at coat check. Finally, you get to the venue where you climb the narrow staircase, you hand in your $15 ticket, take a quick look at the merch. Nothing new there, so you make your way to the front of the stage. The snow slowed you down, so you missed the opening act, which meant you had about 20 minutes before the action. Slowly but surely, people start to pile in. Having just finished their cigarettes, they brought the smell of cold smoke with them. That, combined with the smell of beer, was all too familiar. And soon, you find yourself shoulder to shoulder with about 500 complete strangers. Taking a look at the stage, you see Jesse's white Rickenbacker bass leaning up against two huge stacks of speakers, and Seb's drum set right up front, right against the crowd. The house lights go down, and two spotlights hit the stage. The crowd goes wild. The screaming is so intense, you could swear you've never heard anything so loud in your life. But as if bassist Jesse had heard your thoughts, he marches on stage and starts to adjust his volume knobs, almost to say, "You think that's loud?" He puts on his bass and he takes his position just left of drummer Seb, who's adjusting his headband. He knows the sweat is coming. And then, the moment you've been waiting for. Seb jumps into a punk rock beat, and Jesse makes his bass scream the intro to turn it out. You catch an elbow in the ribs as you try to adjust and take your space in the crowd. This is no ordinary mosh pit. These people are dancing and jumping as if it was the last show they would ever see. Quickly, you realize you're doing it too. The band plays hard and fast, making their way through 2004's You're a Woman, I'm a Machine. You get Little Sister, Going Steady. By the time they make it to Blood on Your Hands, the crowd is packed so tight that with every jump, you feel a second of weightlessness as the bodies around you hold you up before you slide back into the mass of sweaty flesh that has now become one. The heat hits you the same way the volume does. You're not supposed to like it, but it's perfect. The music keeps you going. Injected with just the right amount of sex and anger, you can't help but feel like you're transported into some other reality. There is no home. There's no work, no family, no friends. Life has become only this. And then, as always, with perfect timing, you hear the opening notes to your favorite song. Romantic Rights has never made you feel so good. If you guys miss concerts like we do, I urge you to share this video. Let us know in the comments what your best concert experiences are. Now, I'm gonna put links to all of these songs that I mentioned in the description for this video. So until I see you next, remember everybody, make some time for music.